Today, you guys are in for a treat. We've done Festival Speed, we've done Players Classic, we've done Convicted. Now this time, it's time to go to a tucked event. Now I've heard these meets are pretty good and I've seen some cool cars that are going, so I'm hoping for a great event. Now obviously the Golf is a little bit too slammed to get into the show. I mean, find me a car with better fitment, I bet you can't. But I'm just at the meeting point waiting for Josh and Ollie to join, and then we'll be cruising up to Thruxton. Oh, and that means you guys are going to find out what I was talking about in my last video about what's different about Ollie. But here comes Josh. Now we're just waiting on Ollie. But if you haven't already, make sure you go and subscribe and check out some of my other videos. And at the end of the video, if you do like the video, you can like the video. But here he comes. That is right, Ollie has bought himself a Puma. So if you didn't know, Ollie's Fiesta has blown a head gasket, so he bought this 1.7 Puma to swap the engine in and has decided to keep the Puma. I'm not too sure he knows what's going on with either cars at the moment, but for now, you will see Ollie in a 1.7 green Puma.
I don't know what's going on with either of them.
Right, now the three race cars are here, let's head to Thruxton and check out some cars. Right, we have landed in the public car park with a McLaren. But we're not here for that, we're here to check out the cars in the event, starting on the track with this RSQ3. Big road form wheels, slammed of course like most of the cars here, and a really different colour, that's really nice. Is it a car show without a Beetle slammed on its arse? I don't think it is. Now I think we saw this one at Players, but check out this convertible S15. Kitted out with the Recaros to match that sort of suede dash. Someone has really gone all out on this E30 Touring. Full wide arches with the full roll cage as well, that is awesome. I believe this is the Golf that DMO built for one of his subscribers. With the engine out of a Mark 1 V6 Audi TT. And I think I'm right in saying that it's got a super rare body kit around like the arches and the side skirts and that. Obviously it's been refurbished, but yeah, that is so cool. A very clean slam Lupo, the driver definitely can't see over the steering wheel as normal. Slammed Lexus. Another crazy clean Golf, but like I always say, the old over the new. Check out this colour on the Lamborghini, that is insane. It goes from like purple into black, but as you walk around it gets like more purple, it's ridiculous. A ton of forged carbon, but that's not even the main event. The fact it's got no bumper and you can clearly see the twin turbo system. We're currently on the track, that's all the cars that we've checked out. We've still got all the cars that been around there, and then there's loads over there as well. There's definitely not a theme because you've got that insane Lamborghini and then a really cool Audi S2. We saw that blue RS2 at Port Solent the other day, but this S2 is really, really nice. Another Audi V6 swapped Volkswagen, this time an old Passat. I think they've done really well with the boot build to kind of keep it like that classic look, but obviously get the air ride system in. So cool. And finally we get to see that Bag Miata's Bag Miata. The last few videos we've seen his R33, but I told you he had a Bag Miata, obviously, well, by his name. He obviously only gets out for certain meets and it is super, super, super clean. And I think this is the last show he's bringing it to of the year. I mean, look how tidy the engine bay is, and the size of the turbo for such a small car is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't even notice this. How cool was that? Yeah, it's so cool. But moving on to a Civic Type R with a typical white with red seats, that is literally the best look for a Honda Civic. Then you have the M3 that we followed up to Convicted, next to two really clean Mercedes. The 190 really is one of, if not the best Mercedes ever built, and this one's got its steering wheel hanging from the roll cage as well. Purple really is one of the best colours you can have on any car in my opinion. But that's it for the cars that are actually sat on the track, but we're going to head over to the paddocks and the other areas because the show is just starting. There's so many cars here, there's so much to show you and not a lot of time. We just got to hop over this barrier and go meet up with the others because they've already walked off because they're bored of waiting for me to film. We've got a few cars revving over there, but we're going to check out this bit. Now you'd think just a normal Golf R until you get to the front end where you see the carbon fibre bonnet and wings. We have another really clean Mark 1 MX-5, this time in black, and this time with a really cool like rose decal on the rear lights. It's not an MX-5 without that though. Volkswagens are out in force today. This is a really clean Scirocco. But finally our first old Ford of the day with this red Orion. You don't tend to see Orions as much as you see like Escorts and Sierras. They're so cool. I'm not sure if it's an RS, but it's got the Recaros and the RS bonnet, but still, either way, that's sick. This is something I haven't seen before. This person has cut like the bonnet, so it's just got the front so that he can just take the rest of it for the shows. So these are all part of the club called Irrelevant, and next to the Nissan Laurel, we have this really cool old Skyline. This is definitely one of my favourites, so much so that I almost didn't recognise the R34 that sat behind it. I mean, of course the R34 is cool, but you just don't ever see a Skyline that's not a 32, 33 or 34 at a car show. I mean, that's the first one I've ever seen anyway. Josh is obviously a fan of the Minis, but that is next to a really nice sort of like cream E36. Now we're talking with the first NB Miata of the day, or MB2 shall I say. And I think saying that this is the first one is a lie anyway, because I'm pretty sure we saw Johnny's over there. This is a super clean purple A7 S7 RS7. I'm not too sure how to tell the difference, but it's got a really nice carbon bonnet with that purple stripe to match the colour scheme. It's just super sleek. If you can't decide what colour you want, just chuck them all on. But if you can decide, you've probably gone for dark green, because dark green looks amazing on any car. That's the only colour I want my MB in. Oh, for God's sake, I forgot my sun cream and I'm looking like I'm burning. We have another Honda Civic, this time in red with a carbon bonnet. There seems to be a lot of Civics at the show today. And check out the wing on the BMW. Instead of going up, it literally just goes straight from the boot, straight out. We've seen a lot of camber on display today, and the Aristo here, yeah, doesn't disappoint. And next to this really cool green BMW E36, we have Abby's E46, who we met at Convicted. And of course then, Dan's Crown. You should remember them from the Convicted video, but if you don't, then you should go check that one out. There are so many clean and different builds here, it's ridiculous. Right, we're heading into the massive section now, but we're getting closer to the stage, so the copyright strike is inbound. But we're going to start with this purple Mark 1 MX-5 with an absolutely gigantic wing on the back. And Pikachu. Check out the decor on this Mazda, that is really cool how it kind of goes like the pink flowers kind of flutter away as they go through the car. Yes, the first Mark 4 of the day. A lot of the Mark 4 community will disagree that 3 doors is better than 4 doors, in my opinion anyway, but everyone's different. This is definitely one of the cleaner Civic models, especially with that rear light, and that is next to a Micra in a really cool colour and a lot of stickers, and another Mark 4 Golf. And next to the Lupos we have one of my favourite cars, the Mr. 2. I wasn't a massive fan of the Mark 5 when it originally came out, but the more people have done to them, the more they're starting to grow on me. Have you ever seen almost 200 horsepower in a Suzuki wagon? I mean, it's something different, and I mean, it is supercharged, so that is pretty cool. I mean, that's an odd way to display your car. This is absolutely unreal. He's taken the Dorito out as well. Check that out. I do love an RX-7. I don't actually see too many of them. Check this BMW out. If you look closely on the paint, you can see that sort of like wavy lines through some parts of the bodywork. And I think them hardtops aren't cheap either. I've never seen an MB Miata in this colour as well. It's like olive with the white wheels. I think you can kind of see from the bodywork coming away that it was red before. But yeah, an olive MX-5 Mark II. Never seen that before. Josh keeps saying how I'm the only person that gets excited over MB MX-5s. I've seen this 370Z about a bit. I follow on Instagram. It looks super cool. And if looking cool wasn't enough, it's also a Nismo as well. As you can see behind me, some cars are starting to leave. I'm not too sure why, but we're going to try and get away from the stage so you can hear me a bit better and head into this section over here. Look at the colour on this Mark 1 MX-5. That is crazy and it's sparkling in the sun. It looks sick, and it's next to a really nice white Honda S2000 with a carbon fibre bonnet and a big carbon fibre wing. Now Anthony's been asking me to get some footage of his Mark 4 Fiesta. It is super cool, and obviously Ollie has a lot to talk about because it's the one model before his, but look at that dual exit exhaust, and it sounds really different as well. The first time I met him was actually here at Thruxton, but it was a Thruxton meet. But yeah, that was just after I sold my Escort and bought my Golf, and it was the first time I brought my Golf to a car meet. And let me say, cars don't look any less stock when they're around modified cars. Well, my Golf didn't anyway. And it's next to a really nice purple GT86 with bronze wheels. Got a really nice Lexus moving, and a Yaris in a crazy colour scheme. I don't know if that'll pick it up. I've seen a lot more of these Arosas popping up as well at car meets. Maybe it's becoming the Lupo replacement as they go up in price. And right on cue, there's the proof. And then next to it, you have this really nice Civic EP3 Type R. I do want to drive one of these one day. And I feel like everyone's interested on how that feels to change gear. I honestly didn't expect this event to be so big. I know Tuck do like Tucked at the Circuit, which is this, Tucked at the Manor, Tucked at the Museum, and a few others, I think. I guess everyone's trying to get their cars out for the last few shows before we go into like their autumn months. I do also love an Integra Type R. White with red seats is clearly the go-to for most Hondas. What do you prefer, Ollie? Integra Type R or Civic Type R?
Integra.
Integra, yeah. Yep.
100%.
Good choice.
100%.
By the Integra, we have two convertible E36s, one in dark green and one in like a purple colour. That is really cool. And then an old Polo and another purple MX-5 Mark 1 with a crazy splitter kit and a massive wang. Ollie's done, but we came prepared again. Always prepared with my Spider-Man lunchbox. Next to this super clean Subaru P1, we have this unbelievable Viper. Look at the size of that engine, and the colour on it is lovely as well. That sort of like gunmetal grey. That is really, really, really cool. We stumbled across a really cool section, starting with this Chevy Impala. Impala? I think it's Impala. How long is that thing? That is like a proper retro lowrider. That is sick. And then next to this V8 Beast, we have this ridiculous Mustang. Look at the rear on that. This thing is incredible. That is scary. And then next to that, you have a Jensen Interceptor with a Viper engine in. That is ridiculous. And they call this one the VIPER Scepter, and it is clear to see why. We're now on to the last section, which is the pit lane, but as you can see, a lot of the cars have already cleared out, but we're going to see what's still here. We have yet another Golf, this one a cabriolet as well. The interior is super clean. Next to a really nice Toyota, and it's got really cool like Mark II like knitted covers for the seats. That is really cool. And of course, more wheels and more camber. I haven't covered too many Fiestas today, so I'm sorry if you are into your Fiestas. But if you are, then just go for a drive and you'll probably see quite a few of them. Next to this really clean and simple E46, we have another olive car, this time another Civic. The olive colour is really nice and looks really good on a lot of cars. You have a pipe in the rear windows to get some air because look how small that gap is. And the back of them are just lovely. But if you're here for crazy boot builds, check out this Golf. Really nice wheels and obviously on air because look how crazy that is. I can't imagine the time and effort gone into that build because that is incredible. And to top it off, you have a quad exit exhaust as well. And then next to the Golf, you have an orange BMW M2 with a little bit of carbon fibre on it. And then a really nice grey Honda S2000 as a plane goes across. And we got another Mini to match Josh's with Hezbollah on the back. This is really cool. Proper built out with the roll cage, the bucket seats, the harnesses, all done inside. And then look at the engine as well. I bet that thing moves. From one crazy build to another, we have this ridiculous green Golf with a crazy body kit on. I mean, look at the size of them arches and that side skirt. That is insane. Simple interior. This is really, really cool. And then last but not least, we have this pink Audi R8. I think it's really hard to make an R8 look not clean, but yeah, this is done really nice. But yeah, that has been tucked at the circuit, and what a show it's been. I'm really gonna regret not bringing sun cream. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I managed to capture just a little bit of how good this show was. It's definitely one of the better ones I've been to. If you did like the video, make sure you subscribe and drop the video a like. Most of you guys watching aren't actually subscribed, so I'm gonna give you a couple seconds now to do it. Let me know in the comments what your favourite car was and go check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Back into the race cars.